And I also learned, man, there's just power in saying no.
Yeah.
No,
you
I'm not
gotta
gonna do it.
have you time.
Yes.
You time is important. Like, you can't. One of the things I always tell everybody: discipline is really important, but also enthusiasm is really important. Like,
That's right.
I tell these guys with comedy: if you feel burnt out, take some days off.
Yes.
There's no harm in that. Like, you want enthusiasm. There's just like something about being enthusiastic with comedy, and I think with a lot of things. Like, you want to have that. You don't want it to be a drudgery.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. You don't want it to be a colonoscopy. You want to go in there.
Yeah, you want to
like
have
really,
a good time, and you want to
Yeah.
appreciate it. And sometimes when you overdo things, you just don't feel that enthusiastic about them. So you got to balance it out. But again, it's an education, so you got to do it the wrong way, and they go, okay, what did I fuck up?
and learn from it.
Yeah.
Dude, I always say with enthusiasm, you can really move mountains.
Yeah,
Right? You
yeah.
can really move mountains with enthusiasm. Because it starts with that.
Mike Tyson had a great phrase. He said, "Discipline is doing what you hate to do, but doing it like you love it." That's real discipline.
Yeah.
Like, that's what made Mike Tyson.
Yes.
You know, and the proof is in the result. But that's real. If you could just force yourself into being enthusiastic about everything, even shit you don't want to do, like you got to do hill sprints. Like, fuck yeah, we're doing these fucking hill sprints.
Fucking get
Let's
after
go.
it. Yes.
Yeah, and then you get excited, and then it becomes something stimulating
Yes.
instead of a drudgery.
You know what it is too? It's that thing where I think, like, you learn about, especially when it comes to training and that kind of thing, where it's either you look at it like, fuck, this is something I gotta do, or I get to do.
Yeah,
Like,
you
I
get to do.
to do it, man.
Yeah.
What a privilege this is.
I mean, there's a lot of people out there that are like seriously ill and injured, and they can't do it. God, they would wish they'd fucking give anything to be able to do it.
One more time. That's
Yeah,
right.
and
That's
we are
right.
lucky. We're lucky as shit. Anybody right now that's able-bodied and hears this is lucky as fuck.
Lucky, man.
Just lucky.
Lucky and privileged. I always
Yeah,
say that.
super lucky.
For sure.
And if you can just keep that in your mind, that's the problem. People get just accustomed to whatever they have, and then they want more. They're not satisfied. But gratitude is so important. I know it's one of those hippie crystal fucking wooden beads things that annoys the shit, because you hear it from the wrong people.
Attitude of gratitude. And,
Yeah, there's certain things that get co-opted by like the word God, I think, is the same way. It's like it's co-opted by some people, and then people have this negative association with it. But I think gratitude is one of those. It is real, and it's really important. And if you could just appreciate your friends, and appreciate your life, and appreciate people, and appreciate what you get to do, you can fucking change your whole tone of existence. You change
Life.
the frequency you exist on.
Where you vibrate, you
Yeah.
can change, man.
You
with
change
that.
people around you too, because they get excited by it.
Yeah, that's right. It affects them.
That's
too.
what I love to do with these guys. I get excited. We're having fun. We're
Yeah.
exercising, but we're all we're all laughing. We're having a
dude.
great time.
Yeah.
It was fun. They were looking over at you. They're like, "Are we fucking working out with The Rock?" Shane kept like nudging me, like, "Dude, we're working out with The Rock." What the fuck? What the fuck? It was awesome.
It was awesome, man.
It was awesome, but enthusiasm and appreciation, it's like there's key concepts in life. And even if you're not where you want to be in life, and you're grinding and you're on that hustle,
And there's a lot of people like
I get
that,
it.
right? Yeah,
I get it. Keep grinding, but also appreciate it. Appreciate that hustle. Appreciate this thing. Appreciate this fucking beautiful, chaotic, unknown existence you're in.
Thing we call life.
Yeah, that you don't know what the fuck is gonna happen. It's open ended. It's wide.
Man.
It's a complete open loop experience. You don't know what the fuck is coming next, and you're just trying to enjoy the ride.
You have no fucking idea.
No idea.
It's a thing, man, when you think about it. It's like, and I feel like I want to know about you too here. I feel like it was a learned thing. Like, of course, the concept of, gratitude, sure. I felt like I'm a pretty grateful guy. But once I started realizing that a lot of the shit that I was trying to get after, and there's the North Star, there's that thing, whatever it is, it's always there. But really, the shit that matters most is the stuff that's right here.
Yeah.
Like right in front of us.
Yes.
You know, this thing, life, family, loved one, kid, whatever it is, job even, you know.
And sometimes if you concentrate on the North Star too much, you don't even enjoy it.
That's right.
You don't even enjoy the whole experience.
Of being present.
Yeah, of enjoying the ride, enjoying the fucking journey. I mean, that's another thing. It's about the journey. Ew. People have fucked up that expression, but it's real. It is really about the journey.
Yeah.
It's just hard when you're when you're not where you want to be in life, and if you're listening to this and you're just not satisfied with your position in life. It's hard to think that way. All you want is that thing, but you gotta somewhere along the line figure out how to enjoy yourself. Somewhere along the line, figure out how to just go as hard as you can, but also enjoy it. Try to enjoy it, because that changes the whole tone of the experience, and I think that makes you more successful. I really do, because I think you have more energy, you have more focus, and you collect better energy around you from other people. They feel your energy. They're inspired by the way you live your life and how you treat people and what you do and how you do things, and they want to do a similar thing. They want to do something that makes them feel that way, and they want other people to feel that way as well. And it's got the butterfly effect. It just goes through all the people that are around you.
Brother, it's like attracts like. It's that thing,
yeah.
Right? It's that thing, man, especially if you're grinding. And you're right, there's a lot of people out there who are just fucking busting their ass and unhappy. You and I were both in that place at one time where we're like, fuck, I don't like the position I'm in. I want more. I want something more. But this idea, but I'm going to try and enjoy it. But I got to tell you, it wasn't, and I want to know about you too, like earlier on in my career, I felt like it's the grind that we love and sink our teeth into and just fucking go and get after it. But I wasn't having fun.
Yeah.
But man, that time when it switched in my mind, like, like exactly what you're saying. Let me enjoy this now. Because I've worked hard to get here, wherever this thing is, just like everybody else. With this idea, like, let's have fun while we're doing it along the way. And you're right. It has that butterfly effect. It affects other people, and it attracts other people. Before you know it, everybody's vibrating at this great place with enthusiasm and excitement and fun.
I realized when I was young, I got a development deal for Disney when I was, I think I was 25, 26. And I got this development deal, and all of a sudden they gave me like, I think it was like $100,000. And I had money in the bank. I was like, this is crazy. Because I felt
how old were you at that? I
was like 26, I think.
Yeah.
And it was a development deal for a television show, and all of a sudden I had money. Like my whole life I was poor. And my whole life I was like wondering how I was going to, when I was on my own, and it was like, how am I paying the bills? How am I eating? You know, I remember like taking like a loose jar of change and counting it all out so I could go to Subway and get a sandwich. You know, like that kind of shit.
You don't forget that kind of shit.
You don't forget that kind of shit. But then the moment I got that check, I remember feeling light.
Yeah.
Like weight had been lifted off me. Like now I didn't have to worry about my rent. Now I didn't have to worry about food. And I remember thinking immediately, oh, this is the key. You just got to not get to a place where you're not worried about your bills. If that means like spend less money, if that means like live a more prudent lifestyle, whatever you have to do. But get to that place where you're not worried about bills, because that shit hanging over your head causes stress that fucking ruins lives. It ruins people.
Yeah.
And so then I was like, okay, now the most important thing is fucking keep going.
Yeah.
Like, make sure you don't lose any ground here and keep going. Because now you know what it's like to be successful. Continue that. Do whatever the fuck you have to do, whatever work you have to put in to continue that.
Yeah.
And then when I got to a place where I felt like I have enough money that I feel really secure, then I started to learn how to be happy. But in the beginning, it was just drive. It was just all go.
Yeah.
And it was just very selfish thinking. You know, I'm just thinking only on what I'm trying to do.
But that's all we know. But especially if you grow up broke, and it's the thing that you make up your mind, I feel, and it's the same thing that happened to me. I made up my mind, like, I'm broke today, but one day I'm never going to be broke. And I will never fucking go back to being broke. At least I'm going to do all I can not to be broke. So when you have that mentality, you have the blinders on.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, this is the way you're thinking. This is until I think we get a little older and we achieve the success, we understand that it starts to go like this a little bit. I got to ask you something. I heard this, and I always wanted to confirm it with you. You started early with martial arts.
Yeah.
Right? And you said there was this great quote, and it was something like, it was martial arts, I think, that gave you the confidence to know that, oh, wait, I'm not going to be broke one day, or something like that. Is that right?
Martial arts was the first thing that I realized, like, oh, I'm not a loser. because I felt like I moved a lot when I was a kid. We moved from New Jersey to San Francisco when I was 7, lived in San Francisco till I was 11, moved to Florida from 11 to 13, Boston from 13 to 24. So it was always
Dude, I lived in 10 states by the time I was 13.
Yeah.
Why were you guys moving around?
Well, my stepdad went to school in Florida. Well, we moved to San Francisco just to like experience something different and just get away from New Jersey. Moved there, and then my stepdad went to school in Florida. And when we went to school in Florida, we had to go to the University of Florida at Gainesville, so we were there for 3 years. And then when we moved to Boston, he was going to the Boston Architectural Center, so we moved there so he could finish it and get his architectural degree. So we were just always going where we had to go, and when we did that, I would have to make a whole new set of friends. And so it was this thing about being insecure and young, and life is kind of fucked up and chaotic, and you're meeting these new people, and kids are fucking cruel. And I always was insecure because we were always moving around a lot, and my life was kind of chaotic. My family life was chaotic, and I just felt like a loser. I always felt like I just had to hide from people. I was like socially nervous around people. And I just felt like there were certain people that were winners in life, and I was not that. I was a loser. And then I started doing martial arts, and I got really good at it. I was obsessed, and I got really good at it really quickly. And I realized, I'm not a loser. Like, I just have to find a thing. And fucking really get after it in a way that I know some people that have had an easy life, they're not going to pursue it like it's going to save them. And I was pursuing it like this is going to save me. Because I knew as I kept getting better, I started getting this feeling like, I'm good at something. Like, I'm good at something dangerous. And then I got really good at it. And then I started winning tournaments and competing and traveling all over the road. And so my whole life from 15 to 21 was just traveling around competing. That's all I did. I was kind of... It's kind of like socially fucked up because I wasn't hanging out with many kids my age. I wasn't really partying. I wasn't doing
training.
I was just training,
competing,
training, competing, and teaching. I was teaching at Boston University when I was 19 years old.
Wow!
I was teaching an accredited course on Taekwondo. It was like pass, fail, A, but it counted towards your GPA. So I tell all the students, I'd say, listen, show up, you get an A. That's all you have to do. Show up and try, you get an A. You don't have to be awesome at it. I just want you to just show up and do your best, and you get an A. It's that simple.
Yeah.
And so they knew that counted towards their GPA. So I had this big fucking class. And it was great. I did that for a couple of years. And then when I started doing stand-up, well, first of all, I started kickboxing. And when I started kickboxing, that's when I started getting, like, brain damage. And I was realizing I was getting brain damage. Because we were sparring hard.
Oh, for sure. Like, for real, you were.
Yeah, legit.
Getting dinged up.
And I was, like, laying in bed with headaches after sparring. And and there was no money in it. And I was like, what am I doing? Like, I'm 21. What am I doing with my life? Like, I can't keep doing this. And I had already started doing open mics. So I had already started doing stand-up comedy, but I was kind of like just dabbling in it. I thought I could do that too, but I still had these competition aspirations. And then the brain damage thing was scary because I knew quite a few people around me that from the time I was 16 till the time I was 21, I saw them deteriorate, like noticeably slurring their words, forgetful, not knowing what you were talking about like moments ago. And I knew that's coming. And I knew that was coming for me.
And CTE back then wasn't in the conversation. Like, that wasn't in the lexicon, right?
Brain damage was. People would talk about people being punch drunk. And but I knew too many people that I saw it in them. I saw a deterioration from young people. I saw slurring in their words, and they would have like one drink of alcohol, and it would be like they were hammered. Because something happens when people are punch drunk. When they drink, they just fall apart.
Yeah.
And I saw that too, and I was like, okay, I gotta stop doing this. Like, this is dangerous. Because we weren't sparring smart. We were going to war.
Like, no headgear?
No headgear. I mean, sometimes headgear, most of the time no headgear. Most of the time it was just going to war.
Yeah. And
you weren't really sparring. You were fighting. We were fighting all the time. And just guys getting dropped all the time. And that was just the kind of gym that I was in. It was a hard-ass fucking kickboxing gym. And beat the fuck out of each other. And I was realizing, like, okay, I got to get out of this. Like, this is gonna ruin me. Like, and then if my mind gets ruined, my life is ruined. Because then you can't think, you can't do things, you don't know what the fuck you're doing in life, you're It's like literally everything is the quality of your ability to think. And I knew that I was putting that in jeopardy. So then I went all in comedy. But I realized from martial arts that if I go all in on something, I could be successful at it.
That's right. Like, that's the anchor.
Yeah, that's it.
That you learn.
Yeah.
I thought that was cool, man, when I read that. Yeah.
There's things in life that I think every kid should do something difficult. Whether it's playing chess, or whether it's soccer, or whether it's wrestling, something that really fucking tests you. Because you learn that you can get better at stuff, and you learn that you can overcome all those feelings of weakness that are inside of you.
Yeah. And it acts as like a forcing mechanism for discipline. Yeah. And to work through that shit. And also, I feel like it's like with you in martial arts and then transitioning over to comedy, I feel like it also, for me, it forces also our kids to find their thing. And even as you get a little older, in your teens and in your early 20s, because, dude, in my early 20s, I was still trying to figure out who I was and what I was going to be, and even into my 30s. But I feel like as you're searching for that thing, it's like with me in football. Like, I thought football was my ticket. That was the thing that's going to allow me I'm going to buy my parents their first house.
Right.
Because I didn't live in a house until I was 27. I was WWE champion. Was the first fucking house I lived
amazing.
in. It was amazing. So I thought football was a ticket, and then I realized down the road, like, I have to finish this chapter in my life because I don't have that skill set to go on. I could continue to push it, but no. But like I was saying, it forces kids to as well, and older kids as you get into adulthood, to find your thing. Mm-hmm. Right? Because a lot of times we're in the thing, we think it's the thing, and it's going to be our ticket out, but it's not.
And if you can find one thing, you can find many things.
Yeah, right.
It's like the Miyamoto Musashi quote: "Once you know the way broadly, you can see it in all things." There's some real wisdom in those words, because there's something about finding a pursuit or a passion or something that you truly love that's engaging and challenging, that is exciting for you, and it advances you as a person. And the lessons that you learn in pursuing that thing, you apply to everything in your life.
Everything in life, man.
Yeah.
Everything in life. There's a great, you probably know it, Bruce Lee quote from Enter the Dragon. Do you remember when he was like one of his students, and he told the kid, it's like a finger pointing away to the moon.
Yeah.
And he slapped him in the head. Don't concentrate on the finger. You're going to lose all that heavenly glory around you.
Yeah.
So back to being present.
Yeah, Bruce Lee was a bad motherfucker.
Dude.
He was such a bad motherfucker. People really don't appreciate what he did. Because what he did was introduce martial arts in an exciting way to the whole world. Yes. Everybody was wearing kung fu outfits, and everybody was fucking taking martial arts classes.
Yes.
Everybody wanted to be like Bruce Lee. He was the fucking coolest guy that ever existed in movies.
Oh, dude.
All of a sudden, you got this little ripped Chinese guy who's fucking everybody up.
And everyone thought they were Bruce Lee, by the way. I remember getting my first pair of nunchucks. But I fucked myself up with the real ones.
Yourself in the back of the head?
Enough times that I was like, oh, they make rubber ones that you're supposed to learn with. Yeah. Dude, I did that. And what did he do? I feel like he was groundbreaking in a way, right? When he came over here, there was something about what he was teaching. Was it Jeet Kune Do?
Yes.
Right. So was he the first, or he was taking a version of it? And
well, he was the first to combine. The thing was, there was a thing about loyalty in martial arts. Like, if you were a judo practitioner and you started training at a kickboxing gym, people would frown upon that. Like, why are you training Muay Thai when you're a judo practitioner? Judo is the way. And the same thing was, I had a very open-minded Taekwondo coach who actually encouraged me to start boxing and doing some other things.
Yeah.
But most of the time, that's not the case. A lot of like kung fu practitioners, they don't want you practicing karate. They only want you going to a kung fu place. Mm-hmm. What Bruce Lee said is use everything that's useful. Everything that's useful. And he put together a system of martial arts that incorporated everything that he learned, from grappling from Gene LaBelle, and karate from Chuck Norris and Tang Soo Do, and kung fu from Yip Man, from Wing Chun. He put it all together with Western boxing and wrestling. He realized, like, there's so many different ways to fight, and the style is having no style. The way is no way. Like, figuring out.
He said that.
Yes. Figuring out how to adapt and move to every situation, to be like water.